Hi, I'm Sherry and welcome back to my channel, Sherry Jones Designs. This is the channel where we upcycle clothing and other things sometimes. It's a DIY channel. So welcome back, and in today's video I am going to be upcycling this cute little girl's denim bib shorts. I had this given to me. I had a bunch of clothes again given to me. Most of them are smaller, and they had some fun stuff in there, and so I thought this would be fun. This is something you could find on a yard sale, you know, or a clearance rack. And also just think, you could check the girls section out, the little girls. I think it's a 14, 16, but I'm not sure here. It had never even been worn. Yeah, Jordache, which is the Walmart brand, you know, 14, 16, but we're going to make it designer. Yeah, we're not going to let Jordache slow us down. We're going to make it designer clothing. So let's get started. All my upcycles begin with a thorough inspection under a white LED, really bright white light. I didn't have to worry so much about this one because it had new tags on it, but you still got to check because a lot of times when they clearance them or something like that, it'll have stains, rips, tears, things like that. There's a lot here to work with. This design that I'm going to be going with today is going to have a lot of white in it because of the pretty white flowers, and I love the white in the denim, and it's quite cute. I don't know how much of the shorts portion I will be using, but we're going to start with kind of like with this piece here, and I'm going to begin by just removing the shorts. I'm going to cut the bib off here at the top across here, and then I'm going to cut the straps off, and I'm going to create a new bottom portion to it. And because there's a lot of room in these straps, I may not have to add to the straps, but we can if we need to. I'm just going to cut that off, and I'm going to remove the bib portion. And we'll set this part aside. Now, if you need, like if I need more height here, I don't want the bib to be so high, I could just add a piece and then come down on the bottom of that to add the next portion that I would want to add. And I want to say this, let's say you're this far along and what you want to do is make an apron out of it or some other thing. Just remember to where you want each piece to start. You know, everybody's body's different. A large busted person, this is going to lift way more than a smaller one. So you have to make it like what's going to kind of work for you. And this is narrower. This is a girl's. But usually, let me measure, but usually when I make my pinafores, I put them about 7.5 to 7 3/4. And I noticed, you know, this is a little bit small. This is 6 3/4. So this is going to fit closer. You know, it's still going to be okay, but it's not going to be as wide. If a person wanted it wider, you could always cut down the middle and add a little piece in there to make it a little bit wider. So you can definitely size things up. You know, if you see a piece that's just too small, now a baby's one, yeah, that's, I don't know how you would make that work, but this is a girl's 14, 16, so I'm hoping to be able to make this work. I like the way the pockets are and the appliques, so we're just going to take it from here. So I'm at my dress form. This is one I got really cheap off of eBay and added a wonky stand to the bottom of it. But hey, it works, and it's adjusted pretty close to my size. And so what I'm going to do is I put it on here, and I see I'm not going to have much room to let it out as it is. But that's probably fine with me. Like, I'm okay with that. So what I'm going to do, and you would do this on yourself. You would put the bib overall on, and then measure on the side of yourself and see how much room you need to have from here to here for this side piece. So I'm going to add a band all the way around. If you made that too big or too little, I'll tell you to fix both. If you made it too big, you could either go ahead and cut a piece out and close it in, you know, after you try it on, after you sew it together. But if you made it too small, just cut it open and add a piece. Another thing you could do is just add elastic into it so that it stretches if you want it to be a tighter on you. Let's say You know, you don't want you're going to wear it as a dress, you know, somebody looking down your dress. I'm going to be wearing this as kind of like this, just tunic over my leggings. And I want to have room in mine where I can put a sweatshirt or something warm, a sweater or something warm, you know, as an under layer under this. And I'm going to make this for myself to wear a little bit dressy, but not too dressy, if you know what I mean, because I'm not really into the whole frill lace thing. And I know a lot of you guys that watch me are not either. So, and there are channels for that, right? We all know. And there's you know. So what I'm going to do is measure and give myself what I can see is going to be plenty of room. And from strap to strap, that is, looks like to me to be about 14 inches. So I'm going to try to make sure when I cut my piece out that I've got 14 inches on my sides. So I'm going to use the bottom of this for my band, I think. I'm just going to cut them open, and I'm trying to think if I need this top band. I don't know. I'll save it just in case. And I have learned something. It's easier to be fearless in your upcycling with free stuff. You're like, well, if you run it, you're like, well, I didn't exactly pay anything for it. Oh, isn't that silly? I suppose we're that way on everything, though. We look at what we have into it, of what we're getting out of it. I'm just going to go ahead and cut this band off and remove it. I mean, there's all kinds of cute things. There was more buttons, you know, I could have, you know, a person could have done other things. And then what I want to do is I'll probably end up using maybe these pockets as well. I just want to use pieces of this with other pieces of denim to make my band. So we're going to go ahead and cut it apart. Kind of see what I have here. And I want to save my pockets separately, and we're just going to use some of these elements here. I don't want overwhelmingly large pockets, so I'm going to come to the sides of them. And I do like to, on pockets, you have this here. Sometimes what I like to do, sometimes they're slanted too much and you can't do it. But I like to just cut along that and make that the second pocket. So I have 1 and 2. And if you cut it larger, like these are children's pockets, so they're kind of small. If you cut it out larger, you can sew through the one layer instead of all these layers. It's also easier to sew through. So there's one. Do the same to the other one. If you want to make sure they're the same size, when you go cut your second one out, you can either lay it on top or compare. Like that, if you're, you know, make sure they're cut the same size. If you're worried about that. Alrighty. Let's see what we have left. And I want to add this, like I said, as part of the band. I thought about removing it, and it just would take so much work to, but I could have removed it and put it on something else, some other part of the garment. And then I also have this really long band. Now you could actually technically have reused this band for the waist, but by just adding more denim waistband to it, if that's, you know, if that's what you wanted to do. I don't think that's what I want to do, because I want mine to be about 4 inches or so. I hate to cut any of this off. So for now, I'm just going to take the whole thing as a strip. I may end up having to cut some of it off or sewing over some of it, because this is into the ruffle, so some of this is probably going to go. Yeah, it's going to have to, isn't it? So that's okay. We don't care. We'll get some of it. I really kind of want to be, I was thinking about here, so I'm going to take part of the top off as well. I It's all right. Still be cute. I'm going to stop here. And this is the size I'm choosing. Let's see what I have here. It is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I have a 5-inch band. I may go down to 4, so we will see here. I'm going to do raw edges, like I'm going to put, to build my band, it'll be a piece of denim, and I'll just stick another piece of denim under it. I'm going to be using a variation of colors in this denim, and so sometimes I will even, like, this is very discolored, but this side's fine. So you can find a lot of times by flipping a denim over, you can, like, I like to use the wrong side of denim for a contrast. And so I'm going to be doing that because I kind of like the light and dark kind of look of denims together. And so I'm going to be doing that. And we're just going to, and I also have a light denim here as well. And another thing that's cute is you can take like that and cover that. And that's really gives you a really cute edge. I like to do that as well. A lot of times, like on this pair of jeans, you know, it's just too dirty. I don't want to use that. I mean, there's nothing wrong with it if it's been washed and you like, let's say making something that has sort of a grunge look, then that would be perfect. So it's artwork, so just doing what looks good in your eye, you know, is what you like. Building what you like. So I'm going to just cut me some pieces here. And even though I have plenty, like I could have just made the whole thing one color, I'm going to cut these into, like, here I've got the grain of fabric going this way. Here I don't care. I'm going to go the other way, and it'll be just fine. And I'm going to break them up. Like, even though I have enough to make the whole thing, I'll take it over that way, but then I want to see the colors changing in the denim. The reason I'm doing this is because I don't have enough of this color to go all the way around anyways. So I'm just going to build it in different colors. It's hard to get an exact match with denim once you cut into a pair of jeans. It's kind of hard to find an exact, because, you know, denim, the blue washes out. So depending on how the person washed it or wore it, you can have the same name brand of jean. You can have the same supposed to be color. A lot of times they are not the same color, you know, due to age, due to circumstances. I try to clean as I go. Like, I could use this piece, but I cut and throw the small pieces away that I don't think I can use. Otherwise, I just get overrun because I deal with so much fabric. Also, I have used this seam. Turn it even this way and see that seam, and it actually just, to me, and the way I see upcycle clothing, it adds character. It just adds a lot of character to a denim project, to see depth, texture, and changes of color, just like in a painting. Just like if you were painting your, you know, doing artwork. So, all right, I'm going to keep this up, and then we'll go to the sewing machine and start putting some of it together. So I'm just going to do some shorter light dark pieces, keeping them pretty short. And I will stop and check and make sure that these fall, you know, not too close together once I make the circle. And I want to make around for my waist. And so I'm going to go just kind of like this, and then throw in a piece of this in between. Wondering if that's too much, if I should go a little less here, but let's see. think we might be all right. I'm just doing a zigzag. I'm using white thread. A zigzag. And this is extra long, but I'll trim it. I'm going to cut my length next. And just some chunks here. And probably here. If I don't like the layout, it's so easy to change because you just cut it out and pull it over. So much nicer than pattern sewing. You can just add, subtract, remove, you know, it's just so much easier. I'm trying to decide if that looks okay to me. I think I like that. And then I'm going to go measure the waist. I'll trim it all to the right length when I'm done. And make sure that these hit, you know, in a place that looks good. I might put one in the front and one in the back. So now I will go to the mannequin and see where this next one needs to come in. Okay, so we're back at the mannequin here on my dress form. And if you don't have one, just lay this out on a table, take your measurements from yourself, and then measure it against it laying down. Basically, I want to see one kind of to the side here. And so I'm going to pin that into place. I'm going to see how I'm doing on my width here. If I think this is too boring, I can add some denim elements to it, which or more lace or something to it. I definitely don't want a ton of, you know, like all one color one side and have it broken up here. So where am I putting my other bright color in? I can see here by doing this, I would want it here. So I'm going to go ahead and cut my denim piece. Oh, forgot my scissors. So I want my other one on the opposite side. So I'm going to cut it here. And that's where I'm going to add my denim piece in. I'm going to come back. You saw exactly where I cut that, right? It's in the dark. Let me see if I can turn it around here. But basically, as I come around here, I want my piece with the flowers on it to be like here on the back side. So that's what I'm going to do. Is that one will be here. I don't need to pin it. I know where it goes. And let's keep sewing. Okay, so here I'm going to make sure I've got enough room here, and I'm kind of in the center of where I want to put my straps. Now, I don't want my straps to be on my decorative piece, so if it's too big here, I'll just take some out of that. I'll make sure I'm onto it pretty good because I want a good hold of it. And I'll add a piece, and then this one I'll lay it out and put this one on my next piece. But I needed to mark where to start here. Don't really want my strap onto that. I've decided since I like this part, I'm going to go ahead and attach it so I don't have those pins there to poke me when I work on it. And I'm going to go ahead and put this piece on into its approximate location. And you could do this two ways. You could have this over the top, or instead of this on top, like that wouldn't matter either way. Here, nothing big too particular, and I'm just going to make sure I'm covering about a ½ inch or so. Okay, so we're going to put this one down since I got it where I wanted it. I want it to be over just a little. I think that one there might work. Toss in a piece of this. Go go ahead and pin it just in case I mess it up. And we'll turn it. Put my strings behind and we'll just get it down. It should be the same distance between here and here now as between here and this other side. So let me measure that. We should be able to do it without going to the mannequin. I'm going to go from here to here's 15. And you know, I said somewhere around 14 to 15, so I know that's going to be right. And now on this side, from here to here should be 15 as well. Do I have enough? I think I might have enough. Let's see here. It's going to be close. Yep, barely reaching it. Hold on. Hold on. Let me put the pin in it. And give myself a second measure. Measure twice, cut once. So they say in construction, it must be true here as well. Yep, that'll work. I cut it perfect. Of course I did. How silly of me. Of course I did. It's turning out good. And I'll probably zigzag here so this doesn't fray too much. I want it to fray, but I don't want it to fray too much. So once I get my sides set the way I like it, then I'll do a top stitch on that as well. I am going to continue adding little denim pieces, different directions, and build this out. Not down too far. I don't want a long one. I don't wear long dresses or anything, so we're going to go down and then I'm going to be putting the pockets on it and adding denim or lace accents to everything. I think that is what I'm going to do here. So here's what I'm doing on this cute little denim jumper dress. I am just adding denim pieces of different colors to get down to the length I want. And I want to have a raw edge, and I'll probably add all kinds of sort of white elements to it along with some pockets. I've got a stain here, I've got a cover, and I'm just going to keep this up until I'm at the length that I want it to be. So after I trimmed it to the length I want, I was careful not to pull on it so much because I cut across some seams, and now I'm zigzagging all of the bottom across so that I can lock all of my seams in here where I've done my patchwork. And as I come across them, I'm also back stitching to make them extra strong. I'm going to do that all the way around here, and then we'll work on the top up here. So here's the denim jumper so far, and we've got to deal with this and bring this in on each side and put our pockets on here, but I think it's turning out so adorable. And so I've pinned on some different little lace pieces in my pockets. I'm going to sew all that on, and then we're going to put a piece of elastic up here on the side, I think. And I think we're done. This is going to be so cute. So I'm going to begin just on my pockets. I'm going to just start up here and do a little bit of extra reinforcement. And we're just going to put all of it on. Pinned everything in place. I didn't want to overwhelm it with lace, just to have lace accents. Okay, so here's what I have. It's basically finished except for bringing my sides in. Is I'm going to take an elastic and I'm going to use that elastic to pull these sides in, and that'll give me a little bit of like a shape there or a movement. And this is a, not quite an inch. It's like, it's sold as inch. So this is, okay, yeah, it's sold as inch because it's the same thing. So this would be 1 inch elastic. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to make however wide I want my elastic to be, and I'll just make the denim to fit into it. You know how I pull it and pull it in place. I'm going to start my elastic right where this starts, but here, if that makes sense. Like I know I want my elastic to go from here and then to the front of this. So I'm going to cut my elastic 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'm going to put 2 6-inch pieces in those spaces. So I want to leave an edge that will fray. I'm going to use a straight stitch because it's just easier with elastic to have a straight stitch. And needle down, get myself started. And I know I'm going to want to go to here. So I'm going to come over where I'm going to end, where I put that needle in. And I'm just going to pin through the elastic where I want to end. Now I've got to fit everything in this. And so I'm going to fully extend my elastic, but I know I'm going to have to gather some of this. So I'm going to gather it till it fits like that and kind of get it looking like I want it to look. Like I want to see a little bit of top edge fraying. And then once I get it kind of looking like I want it to look, then I'm going to extend, pull on the elastic. The reason I'm doing that is because I want it to stretch with my clothing. You know, I don't want to just gather it and have it, you know, where you can't pull the elastic and you know, pull my gathering and opening it. I don't know if that makes sense, like a waistband. Then I'm going to turn back around and I'm going to come and sew the bottom side of the elastic the same way. And then I'm going to check and see if I like the fit of it, because now before I put the other one in, it'll be time to do it shorter. If, you know, if I determine I want it shorter, now would be the time. Because a lot of times when you install elastic, the elastic, you know, it, like this isn't strong enough to bring the whole thing back. So because there is no pattern, it is sometimes a trial and error with upcycled clothing. All right, I think I could even dress it up a little more. I was thinking this looks kind of plain here. Maybe like just even little bits of like denim fuzz or something sewn on there. So I can see how I could maybe even add a little bit more to it. It's very fun. It's very fun. I think it's really cute. Super comfortable. So thank you so much for watching, guys. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And I will see you in the next video. Happy sewing.